I've made a lot of molds, some complicated, some simple. I hate one-time use molds. They waste time, energy, and materials. I already made a video on fly ash molds, but those raw materials are hard to get. I'm working on a new formula with easier to get materials that I hope to do a video on soon. For now, I'll cover making mold masters. When I've given workshops, I've noticed that a lot of people are flummoxed or intimidated by the mold making process. Once you develop a system, it's easy. I hope this short video showing the steps will help. First, make or get a model. I'm focusing on tile molds here, so we're talking square or rectangular. I make them from wood or high-density fiberboard. Generally, you can use a standard 7/8 inch board thickness, but I made this one extra thick because I wanted to run some tests making thick tiles. I recommend a 5-degree draft for two reasons. First, the tiles drop out easier. Second, I find that a strong draft makes squarer corners on the finished tile. I dislike those really rounded corners on so many fused glass tiles. After your wooden master is made, seal it with acrylic or something else and mount it on a board about 1 inch wider than the master. In this case, the wide part of the master is 4¼ inch, so I make the bottom board 5¼ inch. Now get some stock for the sides. The sides are going to have to extend at least a ½ inch higher than the top of the master. I like using tongue and groove flooring because it's already notched and I can make an extra high mold easily by fitting pieces together. Face the downside of the flooring toward the piece because it has nice grooves in it that hold the hardened castable when you remove the inside. If you don't want to use flooring, use wood, but have a way by router or saw to cut a groove on the inside. First I cut the sides for the mold extra long. Then I go back and cut one side of each piece on a 5-degree bias. This will create uniform thickness when you cast your molds. Now do a practice run on how the mold fits together. The grooves on the bottom overlap with the base piece of the master. Holding the mold sides in place, drill screw holes. I then re-drill the holes on the outer piece larger so the outer automatically hugs up to the inner. Check your work to see that the fit is tight, and importantly, number all of the corners. No matter how good you are, no mold is perfectly symmetrical. Now oil all of the wetted parts, seal the bottom with aluminum foil or tape, and cast a plaster negative over the wood master. After the plaster sets, turn it over and pry out the wood master. Now get some of that 2-part castable rubber like Polytech. I like their Poly 75 with a durometer of 60 or more. You want the mold to be pretty stiff. Since you never removed the plaster negative, your mold should be well sealed on the bottom. Tape the top just to be sure you don't spill and cast your rubber master. Take the board off the bottom of the model and use it to back up the rubber master. This raises the master a little above the mold sides, which helps later with mold removal. I glue it or attach it with more of the castable rubber if I have some sitting around. After the rubber cures, pull the mold master out of the plaster and you're good to go. When you're using this rubber master to cast molds, oil the mold and sides before casting into it. After the mold cures, first remove the bottom, then remove the sides. For quick one-time use molds, you can use pink foam. It cuts great with these really thin saw blades. A friend who does lapidary gave me this. Then all you need is a mold box with a bottom. You can glue the pink foam model to a piece of aluminum foil and wrap it over the mold box bottom and cast right into the box. After the mold is cured, you can heat the cured piece to about 250 degrees to make the pink foam shrink for easy removal later. When I've worked with artists on complicated molds, I like getting carved wax masters. I'll make a video on that somewhat different process.